Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how do you select the best auto accident lawyer for your case, even if it isn't Brian. And here's the reason that I'm making this video. I have really 5 criteria that I think you should be going through as you're making the selection of who's the lawyer that should be handling my case. And the mistake that a lot of people make is that there are lawyers that are good at lawyering and there are lawyers that are good at advertising. And while there is, of course, some overlap, many people get wrapped up in the lawyer that has the most commercials on TV, has the biggest billboard, or has the flashiest website, and we assume that because they have all of those things, they must be a great lawyer. Well, no, maybe they're just really good at attracting cases. And so there are 5 criteria that I look at when I'm advising people who are in a state where I don't practice, but who should they be going to hire for their auto accident case. And so here they are. Number 1, does the lawyer actually practice in the location where your crash was? So lawyers are bound by state lines. I can only practice in Virginia and Maryland. But more than that, we're bound by like how far will we drive for a case? And so for cases of a certain size, I'm not leaving my 25-mile radius, right? And so I won't take a case in Southwest Virginia. Some lawyers will take a case anywhere. We took a case recently that was a crash that was in Virginia that had been handled by a lawyer in Texas for 2 years. Almost 2 years. Statute of limitations in Virginia is 2 years, and so as he was coming up on that 2-year deadline, he recognized, oh no, this is a case I can't settle, and he discharged the client. Well, the client has been sitting around for 16, 18, 20 months waiting for the lawyer to do something, but they couldn't because they were in a different state. So the thing to know with these big advertising firms is that while they may handle cases nationwide, they may not actually have a lawyer in your state. And so you want to be going to the website and making sure they actually have a lawyer, number 1, in the state, but number 2, who practices in the area where your case happened. Because 9 times out of 10, your auto accident case is going to have to be filed if it goes to court in a courthouse, in a county, or in a city, or whatever kind of jurisdictional limit your state has, where the crash happened. And if the crash happened on the other end of the state, the lawyer that you hired to settle it is probably not going to be the one who's taking it to trial with you. And that varies in law practices, but that's a question you want to ask up front of the lawyer before you hire him. Hey, if this case doesn't settle pre-litigation, are you going to be the one who's filing the case? And you have to recognize that distance from the office matters, because while Zoom has allowed us to practice more and more from far away, you still have to go to court to do things like set trials, do depositions, and actually try the case. So location matters, number 1. Number 2, once you've determined that the lawyer is actually around the area where your case would have to be filed, you want to look at their reviews. And Google has made this really easy. You can go to Google My Business listings for the law firm and see what the reviews say about the lawyer. And I think you want to be looking not at the results that the lawyer has, but at what people are saying about the process with the law firm. Results are important, and we're going to get to that later, but what have people said about the customer service experience, right? Because what you need to know is that for an auto accident case, you may be involved with this lawyer for 12, 18, 24, 36 months, and if you're in a state where it takes a long time to get to trial, maybe even longer than that. And so if you're working with somebody who's not returning your emails, not returning your phone calls, and they have a reputation for that, that can make for a really abrasive experience. So go to Google, check out their reviews. Don't only look for this is the best lawyer in town, right? Because a lot of clients will say that after the case. But look for the process was really easy, the staff was great, and number 3, my number 3 tip, they spoke to you in a language that you understand. Most lawyers go to law school and they never stop speaking like lawyers. We love Latin phrases, we love big fancy words, but a lot of that doesn't translate back to how do we talk to normal clients. You want a lawyer who's going to speak to you in a language that you understand, because ultimately it's your case and you have to be the one making the decisions about, do I settle the case or do I go to trial? Is the insurance company offering me fair value for the claim, or are they not? And if you have a lawyer who's using $10 words when $3 words would work, you might not feel like you can ask them questions. You want to be able to feel like you can have a real conversation with a lawyer in plain English and understand everything that you need to understand about your case, and that comes down to how easy is the lawyer to talk to. That's my number 3 tip. So location is important. Reviews of the team, not only the lawyer, are important. And then does the lawyer speak in a language that you understand? And are you able to, if you have questions for a lawyer and not for the intake team, before the case is signed up, are you actually able to get to a lawyer? Because some of these larger firms now are handling all of this stuff in the intake and the sales process, and you don't even talk to a lawyer until you're all the way out of medical care. And I think that's the wrong way to do it. So you want to be able to have a relationship with the lawyer who's ultimately going to be handling your case. Okay, number 4, results are important. But let me tell you, not all results are equal. If you go to a lawyer's website and they have a number of results that are $100,000, $1 million results, but they're all settlements, well, that's a clue, right? You want to have a lawyer that's got a good mix of settlement and verdict results. Because there's a saying in our industry that the easiest way to settle a $1 million case is to start with a $2 million case. All you know about the results that go on the lawyer's website is what it settled for and what facts does the lawyer want you to know about the case. You might not be told for a $1 million case that there were $5 million in medical costs. You might not be told that that was all the insurance money that there was and that that's why the case settled, right? And so we want to be looking not only at the results, but at the verdicts. Does this person actually go to court? Because there are lawyers out there that sign cases up with no intention whatsoever of ever taking the case to trial. And insurance companies know which lawyers try cases, and they know which lawyers settle as soon as they say this is the final offer pre-litigation. So you want to have a lawyer who's got a good mix of verdicts and settlements. I get a question often about what's your win rate, right? And win rate doesn't really matter. If your win rate is I win 100% of the cases, then you're probably lying, number one. But how we define a win matters, right? Is a win every case that I took to trial got some money? Well, okay, it's not hard to manipulate the numbers to make sure that every case that you get to trial gets some money. Really what you want is a lawyer that's winning more often than they're losing, but they're losing sometimes. Because losing means you're trying cases where the offer was bad and you're trying where the facts are not optimal. And sometimes you do worse than the offer in cases like that, right? All that lawyers can do is give the client the best advice about the case, and then ultimately the client's going to be the one that makes a decision. So if you've got a lawyer who's only winning cases, it's probably because they're trying the wrong cases or they're not brave enough to try either great cases or very bad cases. Let me give you another clue. So here's what doesn't matter in the results section. So some lawyers, you go to their website and it's all of these badges. Super lawyers, great lawyers, best lawyers, local chamber of commerce badges, multi-million-dollar award badges. Here's a little secret inside the legal industry. Once you buy one award, you get solicitations for about 7 awards. And there's not really a whole lot of vetting that goes into the selection of these awards. And so, we get questions about super lawyers, and our lawyers have been nominated for super lawyers. We are recipients of super lawyer awards. But most of the award programs, they really are nothing more than purchased plaques. And so while those can be some indicator that you have a great lawyer, the more plaques does not necessarily make for a better lawyer. All right, last thing. So we've covered locality, reviews, results, and does the lawyer speak to you in a language that you understand? Let me hit one last point. You want a lawyer who's a specialist. And lawyers, in some states, we're not allowed to use the word specialist or expert in our advertising because of state law ethics rules. But you want a lawyer who is in a niche. You don't want an accident lawyer who's working on your injury case one day, handling a divorce the next day, handling a traffic case the following day, and then doing a real estate transaction on Friday. You want somebody who's in and out of these cases, your kind of case, almost every day, right? Somebody who talks to insurance companies on a regular basis, deals with the kind of injuries that you have, whether they're head or neck or back, on a regular basis. You want to know that they've been there before and that they're not learning on your case. And so one of the questions that's important to ask a lawyer before is, have you had other cases that look like mine? Have you had cases with this insurance company? Have you had cases with this fact pattern, either a rear end crash or a trucking accident? Have you had cases with this kind of injury? What kind of problems have you had in concussion cases before? Those are all good questions that get to the root of, is this somebody who's learning on my case for the very first time? Or is this somebody that's seen dozens of cases that look exactly like mine and know what the roadmap is to success. So I hope those 5 things help you find the best lawyer for your accident case in your state. To recap, we want somebody who's in a locality where our crash happened. We want somebody who's got reviews not only for the lawyer, but for the staff and the process that the law firm runs on. Somebody who's got great results that aren't just settlements, but also verdicts. We want somebody who speaks to us in a language that we understand. And then we want somebody who is a specialist, who handles these kinds of cases day in and day out. If you are looking for some help on your auto accident case, I got plenty of other videos on this channel describing the process of an auto accident case in Virginia. If you're looking for help for a California case, I probably can't help you. But if you're in Virginia and you're looking for more help about how do I handle an auto accident case on my own, or when is it time to hire a lawyer, check out the other videos on our channel and subscribe and make sure you get more content just like this.